Here are 5 of the greatest life lessons I've learned in my life so far. If we've not met before, I'm Caroline and I like to share a different writing idea every day so that we can journal together. I guess the idea is that it can support us to get into a routine. It helps me to stay, I guess, kind of accountable and show up every day. And yeah, go on this kind of journey because there is really compelling evidence that writing regularly is really good for us and it can improve our well-being. So in today's journaling, I thought that we could write about our greatest life lessons. Think about some of the greatest life lessons you've encountered. Write about one of the most important ones and what you learned. Now, when I was reflecting on this, I felt like it was hard to pick just one. And yeah, if maybe that's how you feel, you can create a list. I really felt drawn to this morning, so spent quite a bit of time thinking about what I would put on my top 5, and I thought it'd be really nice to share that with you today. Okay, so in at number 1, the power of resilience. We will all be tested in our lives and experience unimaginable hard things. But what I have learned is that there is huge strength in the human spirit and we can adapt and move through life's challenges. Okay, number 2, embrace vulnerability. I cannot tell you how many times in my engineering career that I was told to toughen up and yeah, basically suppress who I am to get the job done. I think self-acceptance and learning how to be more comfortable with how you show up despite the pressures around you can be really hard, but I now see how impactful vulnerability can be in building real trust and yeah, creating those special relationships and those spaces where you feel belonging and safety. So number 3 is the importance of gratitude. I think in some ways this is related to the first one. It can be very easy to respond to setbacks negatively or worry about what the future might hold. And when I say that younger me had no idea about gratitude, honestly, I don't even think that that was a word in my vocabulary. But a thing that my mum used to always say, and I've shared this before, was that every cloud has a silver lining. And without realising, that phrase is like gratitude, isn't it? It's a mantra to me. It's something that I always say as well, and it helps me to look for the good in the bad. And yeah, to find things in my life to be grateful for. Number 4 is the value of empathy. So I've always felt a really deep sense of empathy towards others, and it does make my heart ache to see someone else in distress. I think a bit like my number 2 life lesson, for me, I guess I felt like this was a weakness, that there must be something wrong with me to be so affected by other people's pain. But now I'm grateful for it as it helps me to understand other people's perspectives, and I can show people more grace and understanding because I know that how people behave is very often driven by what's going on behind the scenes. And then my last one, number 5. So this one is the art of letting go. Now, my mum was a worrier. She held on to so much stress in her life, and despite how hard she tried to find those silver linings, I think that stress was a big part of why she got sick. And yeah, this is by far my greatest life lesson. I think stress is really such a damaging thing. It can eat away at us, damage our bodies at a cellular level, and I have tried now really hard to let go of lots of things, painful memories, because I know that holding on to these things, holding on to pain and grief and all of these things is not healthy. And it doesn't serve a purpose in the long run. Yes, we have to go through these experiences and we have to kind of go through the recovery, I guess. But yeah, it's definitely my biggest life lesson. I know that you can't just decide in an instant to let something go, that you have to kind of go through a process. But I think you can decide to embrace the present moment and work on kind of small little mindset changes. So that the gratitude that I mentioned, and little by little over time, the past becomes more distant and removed and no longer has that hold on you, that constant, like it's always in your thoughts and kind of directing your actions. So that's kind of how I feel anyway. I think this has been a really beautiful exercise, and perhaps in your writing you'd like to share your thoughts today. What is your greatest life lesson or lessons? Let me know your stories in the comments. And yes, as always, I will be back tomorrow. I hope you have a beautiful day, and let's share our greatest life lessons.